So my name is Vikas Agrawal. I am the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer at AIF and PMS Experts India. So I spent about almost 20 years in the industry, and what I've realized after spending 20 years is that there is a huge gap between what investor thinks and what their manager thinks. So in order to bridge this gap, I was looking out for an idea wherein anybody who wants to invest sizable amount of money, they don't have they don't have a platform wherein they can come in, they can extract the exact details of the product, and then they can accordingly make the decision of investing. So I was looking out to solve this problem of the investor community as a whole, and therefore I decided to build a platform around. So the whole idea of building up this platform is to provide details about all the products which exist in portfolio management services and alternate investment funds. So as an organization, we specialize in alternate investment funds and portfolio management services. And when I say specialization, is in we have developed our internal framework called 3 I's framework. Let me just take a minute quickly to tell you a little bit more about 3 I's framework. So the first I is basically nothing but investment style. So we spend about almost 60-70% of our time to understand that what is the style of the fund manager. For example, is the fund manager a value investor, or is a growth investor, or a combination of both, which is like he follows the GAR investment philosophy. And it is very, very essential to understand the style of the portfolio manager before we position the fund in the client's portfolio. Because if you have, let's say, you're investing more than 1 crore, and if you choose both the managers and both of them have a growth investing philosophy, then it does not complement each other. So therefore it was very, very essential that we examine the style of the portfolio manager, and at the same time we also kind of do our own due diligence in terms of identifying whether the style of the manager is maintained, especially during the tough time or not. For example, if somebody says that, look, I'm a value investor, and he's ultimately buying growth stocks or buying a contrarian stocks, then it does not qualify for the value investing fund. So therefore we are very, very careful in terms of choosing, understanding the style of the portfolio manager. The other eye that we examine very carefully is the investments portfolio. When I say investment portfolio, essentially we look at what kind of quality the portfolio has. When I say quality, again, it's a very subjective term, but we examine the portfolio quality very, very carefully. So much so we go to an extent that we look at the portfolio since inception, and we look at how many calls have gone right, how many calls have gone wrong. So that gives us an understanding whether these are high conviction ideas the portfolio manager is running, or it is working on probability. So that is the second parameter. The third parameter we look at is investment performance, which is your third eyes. Now when I say performance, well, it is an outcome. Performance keeps changing as well. But what we examine very, very carefully is that how consistent the performance is and how risk adjusted the returns have been delivered. Because ultimately, as an investor, especially the high net worth individuals, my observation is, one, they are really they really care about creating wealth, but at the same time they really look at preserving the wealth, and therefore we examine that how consistent the fund is. So we have developed our own framework and formulas in which we examine the performance of the fund, we examine the consistency of the fund, and basis that we complete the framework of a portfolio. And every portfolio manager has to go through this acid test before we kind of recommend to any of our client. So at AIF and PMS Experts, as I said, I was looking out to solve the problem of investors of providing information with regards to the portfolio management services and alternate investment funds. At a platform level, we've onboarded more than 75 portfolio managers from all around India who have sort of qualified this criteria A, and at the same time we provide even if the portfolio is not qualified for this criteria and clients are looking out to extract the detail, we do a complete study on the product, and we bring out that information on our website called www.aifpms.com. Once you visit our website, you get to see the entire details of all the portfolio managers and alternate investment funds which exist in India. And there are a lot of NRI investors who don't have access to Indian markets. When they go abroad, they look out for somebody like us or a platform where they can go, and they don't have to necessarily invest in that fund, but they can yet extract the details of these portfolio management services and alternate investment funds, and then they can participate in Indian equity markets. So therefore we don't believe in forcing any investors to invest in these funds, and yet we provide all the information which are very, very relevant for the investor to make decision while investing. So thank you.